Morgan You Know Podcast Network presents Balls and Brew.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our TMYK live stream. Shout out to StreamYard for giving us the technology to do this, to be broadcasting this wonderful podcast for you people, either here on Facebook, on X, or later on our YouTube channel. You are joining us here on this first part for what we like to call Balls and Brew, the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. My name is Rod Morgan. I will serve as your affable host. Joining me is the executive producer of this and every other podcast here on the TMYK Network. He's also a host of a very popular wrestling program here. His name, James Thomas Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
We are apparently pro Pepsi on this podcast as well. We are excited to be here. A little something different this week, Rod. I'm not hosting. We're doing some Balls and Brew that may not all be basketball related. This is exciting.
It has been a little while. You're right. We've been leaning heavily on your fast break skills in our basketball talk most recently, but Balls and Brew is going to start rounding into our normal regular season mode. Our guy Josh Williams is going to be back on soon. We're going to be chopping up football. That's going to be wonderful. So that will be happening soon. But this week, I've got a couple fun little games cooked up for us. We've had a few long days in America. All right. This really isn't the podcast for any of that, but it's been some long days here in America. So let's all just have some fun tonight. So to help us have fun is a man who's been on this planet longer than Jimmy or I having fun. He's been all around the globe. He's had numerous different jobs. Now he's back here in the Hoosier State before he again takes off to go to Anchorage, Alaska, or Bangladesh. You never know with him. It's our guy, the old man, Chris King. Chris, hello.
What is up, gentlemen? This is going to be exciting. We're not going to talk about basketball. It's going to be a little bit strange. We got Olympics coming up. There's some basketball there. Maybe we'll still be able to keep it in here. All right. Maybe we can still do an Olympic fast break.
There we go. That's up to the host of the fast break, what we talk about in the fast break. But I, speaking of hosts, see what I did there? Have two games cooked up for the fellas tonight. Okay. I will not be participating in the games. I will be hosting the games. All right. We have the Olympics coming up next week. I have a fun game cooked up about that. We will play second. But first up, we will celebrate something that is celebrating itself tonight. We record this during the All-Star game, the Midsummer Classic for Major League Baseball. When I was a kid, I loved nothing more than watching the All-Star game intros, because as a kid, you couldn't see a lot of the American League teams. You just saw who played the Cubs, or occasionally you saw a few games on NBC where it was like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets. So to be able to see guys that I had baseball cards for was my favorite thing. Jimmy, tell me I'm not crazy here. You loved All-Star game intros as a kid. I know you did.
It was fantastic. You got to see everybody in their uniform. Oh yeah, I get to see Derek Jeter play now. That's kind of cool. Yeah, it was a wonderful time because we weren't blessed or cursed with having interleague play like we do now.
I like how you say blessed or cursed. Hell, Chris, you saw the All-Star game go from being on the radio to then being on television. So I'm sure the All-Star game has been a big part of your life.
There are definitely times that I miss those old radio calls during the All-Star game, or even the TV announcers when we got into the color TV era for these All-Star games. But like, you're not wrong. Like first being able to see a Ken Griffey Jr., right? When he's playing in Seattle, we don't see those games. I'll use Seattle again for Alex Rodriguez when he first came into the league. Ichiro Suzuki, all right? We didn't get to see those guys unless it was on the All-Star game back then. We didn't have social media, YouTube clips. ESPN wasn't what it is now, so like you didn't get to see these guys. So All-Star games were way more important then.
Jim, don't you love how the guy who always brings up Shohei Ohtani whenever we talk about baseball managed to work in Ichiro there, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like Chris must have just saw that Tom Selleck Mr. Baseball movie too many times at one point in his life, and Japanese baseball is just seared in forever.
First of all, Mr. Baseball is an unbelievably underrated movie in general.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I thought that was really funny. And by the way, Rod, we're so old. The Oakland A's were good when we were kids. Think about that for a second.
Dennis Eckersley.
The Eck, what a great mustache. What a great mustache. Balls Keens for the Pirates starting this year. Speaking of mustaches, look at what I did there. But I'm going to take a shot at you guys a little bit, as I'm prone to do. Folks that listen here on the network, often they know that I like to do that. I like to pat myself on the back, and I like to prod at my two guys. I catch a lot of flack for not watching baseball. So this game I cooked up is going to test you two jokers' knowledge about baseball here, because I'm not going to say that you guys paint yourselves as Mr. Seamheads checking out baseball tonight and checking up on Buster Olney's notes every week, right? But you guys do get mad at me for not liking baseball. So therefore, it would make sense to say you should be able to answer some questions about the first half of the season. Chris, do you think?
That is a fair assessment, Rob. Let's see how well we do.
All right, Jimmy, I will start
lose.
with you.
Gonna lose.
Okay. I will start with you. Now, listen, I'm not going to be asking you gentlemen for numbers here. Okay. We're not going to be getting stat head. Give me the actual number. I'm simply looking for a player's name or a team name. Okay.
Oh,
I can't
God.
make it any more simple for you guys here. I can't make it any more simple for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is good.
Jimmy, you get the first question. I'll even let you. Do you want a question about players or do you want a question about team? You can even pick that.
The funnier one will be players. Let's give me players.
Okay, Jimmy, who currently at the All-Star break leads Major League Baseball in earned run average? What is the pitcher's name?
Is there a pitcher in Major League Baseball that I know is the question? That is the question. All right, I am going to go.
Jimmy, you think for a second, and I'm going to vamp while speaking to Chris, right? Chris, the reason I asked this is because you and I, okay, Jimmy, keep your fingers up, though. We don't want to see you typing anything into the keyboard. Chris, you and I at one point in our lives would have definitely known, right, if a Tom Glavine, if a Roger Clemens, if a name the great starting pitcher, right, had a great low ERA. So this is a fair question to ask, is it not?
No, it's a fair question. I will say, though, it's definitely harder now than it was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or in my case, 30 years ago, where you had more continuity with teams. Tom
True.
Glavine was on the Braves for a decade. Greg Maddux, Smoltz. Those were all guys on the Braves for a decade, Dennis Eckersley was on the A's for a long time. Randy Johnson was on the Mariners for a long time. Roger Clemens pitched for Boston for a long time before he pitched for the Yankees for a long time. You don't have that anymore. Guys are switching teams every 2, 3, 4 years, and it's hard to keep track. Guys get moved from middle relief to start, back to closer to setup. So, there's a lot of moving parts in pitching nowadays.
Jimmy, Chris just gave you a bunch of time to think, and he just gave you a complete out if you get this wrong. So your answer for best ERA at the All-Star break, the player's name, not the ERA. I'll give you the ERA. You tell me the player's name. I'll give you the ERA right now. His ERA is 1.88.
It's not Wheeler. I'm gonna go Aaron Nola. I don't think it is, but Aaron Nola.
Aaron Nola will come up in another category when we're talking pitchers, but that is not the answer. Chris, you can steal from Jimmy here. 188, the lowest ERA in baseball, belongs to
Snell.
No, it is not Snell. It is Dexnaldo Lopez of the Atlanta Braves, clocking in at 188, followed by Tariq Skubal from Detroit, Corbin Burns, Baltimore Orioles, Seth Lugo, Philadelphia, Tanner Houck, Boston. Those are your top 5 ERAs at the All-Star break.
I knew 2 of them.
So there we are, 0-0 after the first question. It went to Jimmy. Jimmy, to you. There you go. Chris, to you. Do you want a team or player question?
Ooh, I better take team.
Chris wants to go with the team. Okay, Chris, here we go. Right now, currently, who is leading the AL West? Right now, who is currently leading the AL West?
The AL West would be led by the Astros.
No, it is not the Astros. Jimmy, you have a chance to steal. Who is leading the LA West?
Loser. I have no idea either, Chris. I'm sorry.
Well, come on, Jimmy. You at least know other teams in the
it's
West.
Oakland.
It's
Oakland.
It's
definitely not
Seattle.
Oakland.
Seattle.
It is Seattle. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jim Risco with the steal. Jimmy with the steal. All right.
I've done
Jimmy,
nothing but talk about Seattle.
I know
already, and I can't get that.
No,
I
the
was really
Astros are
hoping you
having
were going to go AL East. I knew that. I was really
the
hoping you were
Astros
going
are
to go
really
AL East.
low, but then they've been coming
The
back. a
Astros
little
are
bit.
50 and 46, and the Mariners are 52 and 46. So same amount of losses, just Seattle has 2 more wins. So you almost got it there on a technicality, Chris, but Jimmy got you with the Mariners. All right, Jimmy, we're going to stay with team on you since I asked you player last time.
Sure.
Jimmy, I ask you, who leads the AL Central?
Oh, Indians. Guardians.
The Guardians. I was about to say you are not correct and give Chris the chance to steal, but you changed yourself at the last minute. That is correct, Chris. The Guardians lead the AL Central. Chris, I'll give you bonus points if you can tell me the Guardians' record right now at the All-Star break.
55 and 41.
No, 58 and 37. Not a bad guess, though. Not a bad guess. All right, Chris, you had team last time, so you will get a player question. Chris, your player question is, who has the highest batting average in all of Major League Baseball at the All-Star break? Chris, the player's name.
Oh crap. I can't remember who it
Chris,
was.
you vamp and I will
So
talk to
I'm
Jimmy like I did for a second. Jimmy, again, this is a fair question to ask, right? I mean, Tony Gwynn, right? Chris mentioned Ichiro. There were many guys that if they were leading at the All-Star break, we would have known their average, correct?
Oh, of course we would have. That would be one of the big ones. The home runs would be big. ERA, RBI, all of those we would know, and we would know pretty religiously going into the All-Star break for sure. Right now, of the ERA of the pitchers, those aren't really household names, most of them. So
Definitely
that's pretty
not.
tough. And I have a guess. I don't think it's right. I think I'm close.
All right,
But
well,
I do
we'll
have a
come to you
guess
for the
this.
steal if
Yep.
Chris doesn't
Okay.
have his answer. Chris, your answer
So
for the leading average in
so
Major League Baseball, whose current average sits
it's
at
312.
no, way higher than that.
Okay.
352.
Okay. I don't know. I think it's the second year kid that plays either in Milwaukee or someplace like that. But I want to say Shohei Otani for my answer because he's my favorite player.
Otani is 4th, and you were close with his batting average at 312. Otani is batting 316 right now, and he is 4th. Jimmy, your chance to steal.
Is it Bobby Witt Jr.?
Bobby Witt Jr. is 3rd, batting 323. The winner, your Tony Gwynn, if you will, of Major League Baseball now at a stout 352. Okay, again, Tony Gwynn almost hit 400 once and was always constantly at 380 at least. This guy's at 352, but it is a Stephen Kwan from Jimmy's Guardians is the leading batting average man in Major League Baseball, followed by Christian Yelich, a guy who I actually know, who I remember seeing play baseball against the Chicago Cubs. So Christian Yelich,
Many
shout
years
out
ago.
to you. I know you. All right, Jimmy, do I need to ask you a team or a player question? Which of you've answered more?
Let's go. I think player. I think as I haven't. I'll go player because.
Yep. Okay, Jimmy, here we go. You mentioned it before. RBIs. Who leads Major League Baseball in RBIs at the All-Star break?
I'm Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar Henderson does not lead Major League Baseball in RBIs at the All-Star break. Chris, your chance to steal.
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge does lead Major League Baseball.
Oh, that was my
Chris
other
just tied
guess.
it. Chris just tied it at 1. Aaron Judge leads Major League Baseball with 85 RBIs. Followed
Insane.
by Jimmy, bonus points. Who's 2?
Bobby Witt Jr.
It
I'm
is
going to
not
keep
Bobby Witt
guessing.
Jr. Chris,
I don't
can you
know.
go 2 for 2? Who's 2? Who's behind Aaron Judge?
No, I'm not going to be able to guess it because
Oh, yeah, you will.
Ramirez from Jimmy's Guardians.
Uh,
And then, no, I'm not going to say who's 3rd in RBI because he's going to come up later. So there we go. Chris has tied it at 1-1. There we go. Stealing Jimmy off of RBIs. Chris, we'll go back to you. This is a team question. Chris, who leads the National League West?
National League West would be led by the Dodgers.
Correct. Chris takes a 2-1 lead. Jimmy, that might have been the easiest question on the board, but we had to, the NL West had to be asked as a question. So there it was. Jimmy, I'll go back to you for another team here, and then we'll go back to you for another player. Jimmy,
Okay.
who currently leads the National League East?
oh, Braves.
No, Chris,
No,
you have
it's
a
not
chance to steal. Chris, you have a chance to steal. Who leads the National League East?
The Phillies.
The Phillies lead the National League East with your current best record in baseball, Jimmy. The Phillies are the best team in baseball at 62 and 34. Chris is now up 3-2. Jimmy, you are in trouble. Let's go
Game's
to you
over.
with the player question. Jimmy, who leads Major League Baseball in wins? Pitching wins for a pitcher.
No,
He
I
has
know.
13. I'll give you the number. I was surprised that it was even this high. I even knew who this player was.
I got nothing. Chris Sale.
That is correct.
Is it Chris
Sale
Sale?
is
Oh, thank God.
correct. He has 13 wins for the Atlanta Braves, which I was completely floored by. I had no idea that the Sox had gotten rid of him. And I figured if the Sox got rid of him, he must not be good anymore. But clearly he still is, because I think he started the All-Star game tonight and he leads Major League Baseball in wins. So how about that? Chris, I've given Jimmy 2 pitching ones. I got to give you another pitching one. Who leads Major League Baseball in strikeouts?
The Aaron guy that we talked about earlier in this episode.
That is not correct. I don't know who
Okay.
you even mean, but that is also not correct. Jimmy, your chance to steal. Oh, I know who you meant, Chris. You meant Aaron Nola,
Aaron
who's
Nola.
actually
Yeah.
second in wins. But no, he's not. He's not your answer for K's.
Let's go with K's. Burns has been hurt.
I could not believe the team this guy played for.
You can't believe the team he played for.
Couldn't believe that this team had somebody who was at the top of anything.
Is it the pitcher from Detroit, Scooble?
It is not. Chris,
don't
your
know.
chance to and you didn't get so the answer is from your Chicago White Sox, Garrett Crochet with 150 Ks through the
Crochet.
first of the year. Yes. Dylan Cease, another player who I know because I believe your Chicago Cubs traded him to the San Diego Padres for. Can either of you tell me what the Cubs have to show for dealing the man who has 149 Ks for the Padres?
Well, technically, they traded Dylan Cease and Eli Jimenez to the White Sox for your boy.
The pitcher.
I hate him. I hate
isn't
him.
it? It's the
Yeah,
pitcher
it's the
who was
pitcher.
terrible for 2 years,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
what a terrible
yeah.
trade. What a terrible trade. All right, Jimmy, we go back to you with, I believe we'll do this one as the final one.
right.
I got 2 more I can do, I guess, real quick. Final. Home runs, Jimmy. Who leads Major League Baseball in home runs?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Chris, I'll give you a chance to steal. What number does Aaron Judge have at the All-Star break?
Home run number?
Yes.
I want to say 37.
No, 34.
Ooh, I was gonna go 38, Chris.
All right, let's do the final stat category. Jimmy, I'll come back to you. Or no, it's Chris to you. Who
Thank
leads
God.
Major League Baseball in steals?
Oh, give me a break.
De La Cruz.
That is correct. Jimmy, fine. You're so mad. How many's he got? And you can get bonus points.
26.
No, he's got 46. Try
46.
double.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
But here's what I want to shout out. Chris, here's shout out to you, okay? Shohei, you're a boy. Number 2 right now in home run. Number 4 right now in RBI. Not in the top, not in the top 5 in RBI, excuse me, but number 4 in average, but then 4 in steals. I mean, so Chris, the question I have for you, okay? Here's the question I have for you about your boy Ohtani. Where would he be in this wins ERA case thing? Is he going to be in the top 5 of one of those? Or is he just, a good pitcher, but not quite that level?
I think for the Dodgers, he's definitely up there on wins. I don't know about ERA or Ks, but he's up there on wins because you got to think about how dominant he was as an Angel, and he had no run support ever. He would have run support in LA with the Dodgers.
Yeah. So you're saying we could see a scenario where Ohtani'd be in the top 5 in average home run RBIs and pitching wins. I mean, it would just be insane. So I get what you're saying about how Ohtani should capture people's hearts, but he doesn't. Jimmy, let's finish out with a couple of last baseball things here. Who leads I think we've done all of them, actually. Yeah, we've done all of them. So I just want to do this. Jimmy, here's the last question I'll ask you about baseball. If you're a Chicago White Sox, Florida Marlins, Oakland A's, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Washington Nationals, or Colorado Rocky fan, what are you even doing? You're an irrelevant team in a dying sport. Like, what is even the point in any of those 6 markets?
Maybe you like to be outside and you can just go outside for a little while, buy like a $15 ticket on StubHub right before the game starts. That's all you're doing because it's really kind of pathetic. White Sox and A's, I think, need to be put in a different category of patheticness because they're deliberately not doing anything and they don't care about it. It's pretty sad, Rod. And those are the types of fans that I think you can relate to a lot.
I think I got to take exception to how you guys are portraying the Oakland A's fans because this is a fan base that has been stabbed in the back and they're getting their franchise taken away. How do you expect these fans to react? Like that they're losing their baseball team.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
really going
so
after the
why
fans
And
here,
that
Chris.
wasn't
I'm just saying
bad. I
they're-
wasn't mad at him. I was just
you
saying
just
we're
called them
relative to us.
pathetic? You called them pathetic.
No,
said
no,
their
no, no.
teams are
The
pathetic.
teams are pathetic. The fan
But how
base
do you
is
even be
no,
a fan
no,
for
no,
one of
no.
these teams?
Okay, it came
Calm
off
down,
like you were
Chris.
calling. It came off like you were calling the fans pathetic. I wanted to make
Those
sure.
teams, by the
I
way,
wanted to make
Chris, if you
sure
had to
no
take a guess,
Oakland citizens
sure.
were mad
We
at
get
the
a lot of.
TMYK show.
We're big in the Bay Area. We're big in the Bay Area. We get huge numbers out there in the San Francisco, Oakland area. So thank you, Chris, for clearing that up. If you had to guess the odds that those 6 teams I just read for you have to win the World Series, what do you think they'd be?
Like the astronomical, like 10,000 to 1, 20,000 to 1.
Worse, 50,000 to 1. Those 6 teams are that bad. They're at 50,000 to 1 odds. All right. And then I'm going to go up the charts for you to who they think will win the World Series. And we're going to close out baseball. All right. Your Pirates come in next at 30,000 to 1. Your Reds come in next at 20,000 to 1. And I want to point this out here. What makes that hilarious is those teams come in, even though they technically are higher in the standings than the Cubs, but the Cubs are further up that list because of all the money that comes in on the Cubs. Okay. The Blue Jays plus 15,000, your Giants plus 9,500, Rangers plus 8,000, Diamondbacks and Royals tied at plus 7,000, Mets Cardinals plus 5,000. Now we're starting to get into the teams that maybe have an outside shot. Your Padres, Red Sox, bet right now to win the World Series will gain you plus 4,000 odds. Brewers, Padres right now bet will gain you plus 2,500. Astros, Mariners plus 2,000. Now you're getting into where maybe you can make some money. If you want to bet on the Twins or Jimmy's Guardians, you're going to get plus 1,800 odds right now, right? If you want to bet on the Cubs or the Rays, you get plus 1,300. That's ridiculous. Again, as I mentioned, the Pirates and the Reds are higher than the Cubs in the standings, and they're at 20,000 and 30,000. So that just lets you know how inflated Cubs numbers are. Then we move on to the Braves. These are your 5 teams that really can win it. Braves plus 900, Orioles plus 700, Yankees plus 550, Phillies plus 420, and even though they don't have the best record in baseball, the Dodgers at plus 360, favored to win the World Series. Jimmy, closing baseball thoughts.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our Cubbies, who once again can't run, can't hit, can't throw. They had a very strong and very, very hard fought series with St. Louis to end the first half. It's been a very, very pathetic first half, I think, for the Cubs. The June swoon was real. It was really bad.
Now, Chris, what ended up being the final score of that game? Did you beat Jimmy? I kind of lost track of the score there at the end, but I feel like you were on top.
I think it was a tie, actually. I think we ended up being 4-4.
All right, but I think ultimately what we learned is that you guys really
know
aren't
nothing.
watching baseball either. So that's really the only reason I cooked up that game. So it just proves that none of us are watching baseball. Now let's move to a game that will move a little quicker, but I think will be a little bit more fun. Next Friday, opening ceremonies in the Seine River in France. Jimmy, will you be checking out the opening ceremonies? I, for one, always find the opening ceremonies fascinating. I still remember the opening ceremonies from Beijing. It was unlike something I'd ever seen before. Like, I always check out the opening ceremonies. Them coming down the river on barges sounds kind of cool to me.
I'll watch a little bit of it, but it goes pretty long and there's other things to do. So I'm not really that invested this year.
Chris, our resident hater, there's no way you're going to swoop in and say how magical the Olympics are. What do you got for me on Olympics opening ceremonies?
Oh, you cannot miss this opening ceremony, all right? For one, this is the first time in the history of modern Olympics that the opening ceremony is not going to be inside a stadium, okay? They are coming down the river. The river that which, if it rains too much, will be full of feces and all kinds of other excrement. So you guys might want to tune in and see what is floating in the river with the athletes. I think it's must watch and must see TV.
Damn it. I bring you in as the resident hater, figured you're going to trash it. You swoop me in with the bait of, no, I'm all about this. And it's only because you want to see shit floating up through the Seine River. Chris has seen the John Oliver show, or at least seen the segment on YouTube. That a boy. The game I have cooked up for the Olympics, and shout out to Google Gemini because they helped me here. Okay. I'm going to have 5 Actually, we'll do 10. We'll see. Maybe just 5. We'll see how much time we got. Okay. But I have a list of 10 fake Olympic sports generated by Google Gemini and 10 actual real Olympic sports. And I will just read one of them off to you two, and you guys have to tell me fake Olympic sport or real Olympic sport.
Are
Chris.
these for the current Olympics, or is this over the course of the modern Olympiad?
These are things that can be participated in. The real events that I will read to you all will be participated in this summer.
This isn't fair. Chris has been around for all the Olympics.
I understand, Jimmy. I understand, but
You're just mad because I actually used Olympiad.
Yeah, I'll point that's really true.
That
Jimmy, the TMYK lives though that our viewers are seeing right now, you created with AI. So your knowledge of AI might help you out here.
Ooh, yes. I typed in TMYK live colorful logo. Okay, let's go.
Jim, I'm trying to give you something. Why are you always knocking yourself down, Jimmy? All right. The object of us on this podcast is for people to want to tune in to hopefully hear us talk about something. And every opportunity I give for you to be an authority figure, Jimmy, you just undercut yourself. Come on.
Let's go. Well, I'm going to win this one.
There we go. All right.
I know bullshit when I hear it.
I will start with you, Jimmy. I will start with you because you are so confident. I will just read the name of the event, and you will tell me whether this is a real Olympic event or a AI generated Olympic event. Jimmy, mixed double table tennis, real or fake?
Mixed double table tennis. That's real.
That is correct. Jimmy on the board with 1. That is a real event.
Chris. In your face, Chris. In your face.
Let me cross off the one that I've already done here, so I don't want to mix up. All right, here we go. Chris, a real or fake event?
No pressure.
Mixed doubles curling.
Oh, that's real.
That is real. That is absolutely real. Now we're not going to see curling in the Summer Olympics, but I ran out. All right. I needed a 10th event that was actually real that sounded like it might not be real. So that's how curling made it in. But these other 9 will be in the Summer Olympics. Jimmy, real or fake event? Mountain bike biathlon.
Mountain bike biathlon. What else are you doing?
Real or fake Olympic event here on the TMYK show, hosted by me, Rod Sajak.
Let's go real.
That is not real. Jimmy does not score points on that one. That is a fake AI generated Olympic event. Chris, you're smiling at that one.
Yeah, that's mountain biking and guns. Mountain biking and guns.
I love that Jimmy's like, yeah, they're letting people roll through the mountains and then fire off shots. All right, here we go. Chris, to you. Urban parkour slalom.
That's fake.
That is fake. That is fake. Chris is 2 for 2.
I love they're just throwing words in there. Okay, fine.
At least he's not including the new e-game Olympics that the IOC has codified into existence now.
Jimmy, smart guy. Yeah. Synchronized speed walking, real or fake Olympic event?
I want that to be real more than anything in the world. I really do. Fake.
It is fake. It is
Thank
fake.
God.
Jimmy 2 for 3. Jimmy,
yeah, let's go.
Chris.
Like your biathlon.
Women's Keirin. Women's Keirin. Keirin.
That's real.
That is real. That is the fancy word for cycling that is still attached to every Olympic medal that goes to women's cycling. Apparently, Jimmy, this event, the Keirin, is where a motorized pace car will go around the velodrome, right? And then at a time unknown to all the riders, it will duck out of the course, and then it is a mad sprint to the end. So apparently it's just chaos. If you guys see on your Peacock app that the Keirin event is happening, check it out. It is madness. That is a real event. All right. That is a real event. So, Jimmy, it's your turn, correct? Chris just got that correct?
Yes.
All right. Jimmy, men's modern pentathlon.
It's real.
That is real. Jimmy, you got it correct. That is real. For bonus points, Jimmy, can you tell me the 5 sports that make up the current men's modern pentathlon?
There's 5?
Yes, pentathlon, Jimmy.
Pen means 5 or tathlon means 5?
Yes, tathlon means 5. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Tathlon.
Let's do the long jump.
No, it is not a track and field thing. Chris, you care to take a shot? 5 sports that make up men's modern pentathlon.
So the steeplechase isn't in there?
No, it's not track and field.
Oh, don't.
How about this? Fencing, swimming, horse riding, pistol shooting, and cross country running. That
And
is
you
your
make fun of
men's-
me for mountain bike biathlon and it's pistols. Okay.
It's a real event. I'm telling you.
Hey, I got it
Whose
right.
turn is it?
It's Chris's because I got the last one right.
All right, Chris, your turn. Real or fake event? Women's doubles sculls.
That's real.
That is real. Sculls is the fancy word for rowing. Chris, I believe, has not gotten one wrong. Is that correct? See, he's
Again, I should have
dominating
been
you,
a plus
Jimmy.
2. I should
Jimmy.
have been plus 2.
Real or fake Olympic event? Sand dune skiing.
That better be fake.
Sand dune skiing.
It's a fake
Jimmy
event.
says fake. Fake Olympic event is correct. Sand dune
Thank
skiing
God.
is fake. Chris.
This is pressure, man. I miss one. It's over.
Chris, this thing was brought up just a minute ago. I ask you, real or fake Olympic event? Men's synchronized steeplechase.
That's fake.
That is fake. I would love to see it though. Jimmy, real or fake Olympic event? Men's BMX freestyle.
That is a real event.
That is correct. Chris, real or fake Olympic event? Combined bouldering and speed.
That's fake.
No, that is real.
That's real. Yeah,
That's
let's
climbing.
go!
That's a mountain climbing event right there. Chris gets his first one wrong. Jimmy, real or fake Olympic event? Rollerblade, rollerblade sprint hurdles.
Rollerblade sprint hurdles. Is this 1997?
Is it a real or fake Olympic event?
Chris, I was going good there, Chris, for about 10 seconds. I had it. That is going to be a fake event.
That is correct. It is a fake Olympic event. Chris, real or fake Olympic event? Women's rugby sevens.
That's real.
That is real. There are fewer players and fewer time to the game for the women's rugby sevens, but that is apparently a real Olympic event. Jimmy, real or fake Olympic event? Men's kayak polo.
Fake event.
That is a fake event.
Yeah.
Chris, real or fake Olympic event? Women's rhythmic badminton.
That's fake.
That is fake. Jimmy, real or fake Olympic event? Drone racing obstacle course.
Get the hell out of here. Fake.
That is fake.
Okay, good. I really thought that might have been real, and I was going to go off.
Chris, men's park skateboarding. Real or fake Olympic event?
Men's park skateboarding.
Pressure's getting me, isn't it?
I think it's street, not park. So I'm going to say this men's park skateboarding is fake.
It is real. You talked yourself
Oh.
out of it. There's two different skateboarding. There's freestyle.
Ah.
And there's park and there's street. So, Chris, I believe, Jimmy, are we now back to tied here?
I think so.
Okay. I've got
I'm good. I'm good right now.
one. I only have one left, and this is it, Jimmy. This is it right here. Is this a real or fake Olympic event? Mixed doubles synchronized archery.
There are
Real
so many
or
words in
fake?
there.
Olympic event. Yeah, but then have you ever seen some of the finals that are written across? That certainly doesn't give anything away. There's 500-meter freestyle. I mean, there's things written across all over.
That
the
is a
place.
fake event.
That is a fake event. That is a fake event. So there you have it. Real or fake Olympic event. What do you guys think of the two games that we cooked up for Balls and Brew?
I love it because I won the second one.
That was a tie.
What are you talking about? I got more questions right than you did.
If it was the same amount of questions, we had the same
I
number
don't know.
wrong.
The only question I have is, will I be able to tune into the men's modern pentathlon? Because I really think I am into that. I mean, I
Hey,
don't know
Chris,
what
how
kind of
cool-
pistol shooting we're doing. Do we do that after the swimming? Do we do that after the fencing? Do we fence only if certain people weren't taken out during the pistol shooting? I don't know,
Pistol
but I want to
shooting.
find out.
Well, it's got to be separate events, just like a triathlon. Well, not like a triathlon, but like the decathlon. It's the events are separated by time in between things, right? Like
Well, that's not what
you're not gonna jump from fencing and then go right
In the
to
pool.
swim.
Yep.
I have no idea though when you say it's like a triathlon, Chris, because I will quote the great Kenny Powers here. I play real sports. I'm not trying to be the best at exercising. Jimmy, do you want to run the fast break? There is a little bit of basketball we could talk about, but that's up to you. Or we can just close out this portion of TMYK and move on to the wildly popular wrestling podcast. It's up to you, my friend.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest about 15 seconds in the NBA. Rod, Chris, what do you want to talk about today, Rod?
I would like to talk about Jalen Brunson. All right. It'd be easy for me to say the Olympic, but I want to talk about Jalen Brunson right here and right now. And I think the Jalen Brunson scenario is going to be something we're going to see more. I'm not telling you that $113 million is going to be left on the table for all players, but I think some of the talking points and some of the things that are bubbling out of Jalen Brunson's new contract with the Knicks is we're going to see owners basically finally being able to turn around and say to the players, well, hey, our hands are tied. If you want all of these things to be able to happen on the team, guess what we can't do? Pay you all of this money, get to the second apron, and then we're completely frozen and eliminated from being able to do everything. So I think Jalen Brunson just got ahead of it. I think we can't leave out the fact that he understands this is his godfather, literally, who is running the team. His father literally is an assistant coach on the team. And Tom Thibodeau, the coach, knew him when he was a kid. So like he literally feels family there and probably has a little bit more trust than other players will have with management. But I just think that this is going to be pressure we're going to see put on a lot of other people, Jimmy. So that's the basketball topic I had in mind.
Chris, as someone who kind of lives by the moniker, if you've got money, take money. I'm assuming you're kind of against this because you're never getting that money back ever. This might be the only opportunity you had to get all the money. So I guess it kind of depends on what your philosophy is. Do you want to win? You want to have fun, or do you want to get paid? What do you want to do, Chris?
In my scenario as an old guy, I'm ring chasing. All right, like that's what I'm doing. I'm ring chasing. All right, and Rod's not wrong. If Jalen feels comfortable in New York, feels like he can trust everybody there with his dad, his godfather, and Tom, like that's like Rod said, like his family, then what's to stop him from making this deal and to say, I want to stay here. I want to win a championship with my family. I'm going to do everything I can to help us move in that direction. And if it's me signing an extension where it's not a max deal, but I'm still making 30 mil a year and I can win championships with this team we have, which is a good team. Like if they are healthy in the playoffs next year, this is a team that can take down Boston. It really is. And really give Milwaukee and anybody else from the East that wants to try to run at them a tough series.
Couldn't you also see this as like it's just an extension almost of the player empowerment here, Jim, where it's like when you're a player and you take this much less and you give the power to management, and then everybody, because of how much information is out there for us, knows that you gave the power to management. Like you don't bring in other good players, you don't make the trades, the team fails, it's on you, right? Then the player gets to be like, hey, I gave you all the space under the apron to do this stuff and you did nothing. So it's like, in a weird way, Jimmy, I think it's like the guys, because they can make so much money, are taking the power back by taking less, which I agree with you on its face sounds crazy, but it's kind of how the power shifted.
How much love did we see get heaped on the Tom Brady year after year after year because he didn't take a max deal? He restructured his deal so they could get better in other areas. Like we always heard that about Tom Brady, and now for some reason it's wrong for Jalen Brunson to do this.
No, I don't. I think what Brady made the mistake. Brunson was smart here. He waited till they got the players, then did that. Well, Brady said, "Oh, here, I'll take it now. You'll get me the players." And obviously, management isn't going to do that. Now, we do have to wait and see for the other extensions to come up to see if those players take less money as well, because that's the only way it's going to work. What happens if when Bridges comes up, he takes a bigger extension?
He's going to have to go all the way to free agency to pull it off, though, Jim, because of the lower number that he's at right now.
Yeah.
So I think what you said there, right, is like Brunson sort of being the first domino. Like, hey, guys, I tipped the dominoes down this way. So, Mikhail, it's on you to just sign the restructure and not go to free agency, because he goes to free agency, he's out, right? And Chris, I think what this does is it sends a message to your boy Julius, right? I think what the Knicks are saying to him with this contract is, hey, Julius, you want to play ball with us. You want to understand that you're going to have a little diminished role on this team and that we got to come down on your number per year. We'll give you a 4-year deal, a 3-year extension, what have you, but the numbers got to come down. And if your guy Julius takes the Knicks to the mattresses, to borrow a New York phrase, Chris, he might be out of there.
Yeah, but like it's not like when Randall played for LA, like he's not young anymore. He is the same type of thing. He's been the hardest worker for New York the past 4 years, right? He's been the rock that they've been building under. He probably has as much invested in this team as Brunson does right now, and I guarantee that he's going to want to win a championship with them. And like, if that's him staying, around that 25 to 30 mil a year mark, why wouldn't he accept that and continue to build with this team? I mean, they're building it around him, so now he won't have to play 42 minutes a night. So,
well, I mean,
he still will, though.
They're building it around Villanova, to be honest, Chris, but they're allowing Julius to stay.
Yeah, and I just, ego is a tough thing too. Julius Randle's gone from the number one guy 2 years ago, to now third, fourth.
He's been through this before, all right? You go from being number one guy, AAU, and then get to Kentucky, and you're still the number one guy. Then you come into the league and go to LA and become an afterthought. Like,
afterthought.
But he's been through this, so he knows how to deal with it, and he fought his way back to become a number one guy again. So, like, he knows what he's capable of. I think that that's something that is humbling to a player like Randall, who has had to fight to go from being on top to being an afterthought to being back on top. He's like, okay, like, I don't necessarily need to be here for us to be successful.
And that is going to do it for the NBA Fast Break this week. On Balls and Brew, we talked baseball, which is weird. We talked Olympics, which only happens every 4 years. And then we talked basketball with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris.
And don't worry, we're going to make Jimmy do 1 or 2 more fast breaks talking about the U.S. men's Olympic team as we go along here in the next weeks. But let's let them get out of group stages, figure out how that's going to go, and then we'll talk about the boys in the red, white, and blue.
Goodbye, Nat.